Our football chairmen, the evil masterminds behind every failed transfer, sacked manager, and overpriced player at the stadium. Greedy, clueless, power-hungry villains who clearly wake up every morning thinking, how can I ruin the club today? Daniel Levy, tight as a drum. Agnelli, Super League Bond villain. Javier Tebas, Spanish football's self-appointed dictator. And don't get me started on Bayern's corporate overlord, Herbert Hainer. These guys are the reason your club sucks, or are they? Let's ruin the internet's narrative one popular defense at a time. Daniel Levy, the walking target of every fan meltdown, every backpage rant, every ex tantrum. In N17, hating Levy isn't just common, it's a tradition. But today, I am going to file an unpopular defense, because no matter how loud the chants get, Daniel Levy isn't the problem. He is the most transformative figure in the history of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. That is not an opinion, that is a fact. Let's examine the evidence. In 91, before Levy's tenure began, Tottenham were floating in the Premier League irrelevance, 11th, 10th and 12th. The club was adrift, the stadium dilapidated, 36,000 capacity and utterly outdated. Annual revenue, just 48 million. And let's not sugarcoat it. Whilst Arsenal soared and Man United dominated, Spurs were a sideshow. Then comes Daniel Levy, and everything changes. Over the next 2 decades, this man didn't just improve Tottenham, he re-engineered its entire identity, from 48 million to nearly 550 million in revenue, from a club valued at 80 million to over 2 billion, from irrelevant to one of the 10 richest clubs in world football, and he did not do it with a sugar daddy, without a nation state, without bending the rules. That's not luck, that is leadership. Now let's talk about that stadium. He didn't build a ground, he built a multi-purpose fortress, 62,850 seats, to host NFL games, concerts, boxing matches, global spectacles, match to a revenue that exceeds Old Trafford and Anfield. Hear that again? Old Trafford and Anfield, 100 million per season, and that is before naming rights. That is not short-term thinking, that is strategic foresight. Levy doesn't back the squad? Really? Because since 2015, over £1 billion have been spent on transfers. But unlike some owners, Levy does not burn cash, he invests it. He brought in Modric, Bale, Son, Eriksen, Alderweireld, Maddison, Romero. He trusted in Kane when others doubted him. If recruitment fails, let's hold the right people accountable. Managers, scouts, and the ever-changing transfer market. Now to the favourite talking point, managers. I'm sick of the narrative that Daniel Levy is the reason Tottenham grew through coaches. Are we forgetting he hired Pochettino and backed him all the way to a Champions League final? When we were building a new stadium? Are we ignoring the fact that every top club changes managers when the vision falters? Because Klopp didn't win anything for years. Pep had to overhaul City. Levy acted when it mattered. Mourinho was past it. Nuno was a mistake. And Conte absolutely lost the dressing room. And now Postecoglou, in this current form, if this continues, 17 defeats, defensive chaos, morale on the floor, what is Levy supposed to do? Watch it burn? Let me make this crystal clear. Daniel Levy is not paid to be popular. He's paid to safeguard the future of Tottenham Hotspur. If Ange fails to meet the standard, if he cannot stabilise the ship, Levy not only has the right to make a change, he has the responsibility to do so. That is not cold. That is not reckless. That is good governance. And yes, 1 trophy in 2 decades. I hear it every week. No, scrap that. I hear it every day. But let's be real. Levy didn't miss that sit in Madrid. He didn't switch on cup finals. He put us on a bigger stage. What happened after that? Some players and managers have to take responsibility. Has he made mistakes? Of course. Every executive does. But under Daniel Levy, Tottenham Hotspur evolved from an afterthought to a global powerhouse. Elite infrastructure, unmatched stability, financial power without moral compromise. And yet, people still want to crucify the only man who built the foundations they now take for granted. Blame him all you want, call him the villain, the problem, the bottleneck, but history won't remember tweets, it will remember what was built. And when that smoke clears and Spurs are still standing among giants, you realise this wasn't a mistake, it was an unpopular defence, but the right one. Agnelli, il calcio non a due è della gente. You don't need a law degree to know that Andrea Agnelli tried to pull off a hostile takeover of football itself. The Super League, it wasn't reform, it was a money grab disguised as innovation. He betrayed UFA, lied to his close friend, and tried to turn competition into a private club of elites. But let's pause, because for all the fire and fury, ask yourself this: was he entirely wrong? Agnelli saw something before the rest, the broken economics of modern football, and he wasn't trying to kill football, he was trying to save it. From inflated wages, corrupt federations, and clubs living beyond their means. Juventus does not have an oil state behind it, so he tried to level the playing field the only way he could. Business sense. Yes, it was clumsy, but bold ideas usually are. Oh, and speaking of clumsy, how about falsifying transfer values, Agnelli? Under your watch, Juventus was docked points, your whole board resigned, and the club's name, once synonymous with glory, was dragged through mud again. But the puppet master sat in the chairman's seat. Say what you want, but during Agnelli's reign, Juventus won 9 consecutive Serie A titles, reached 2 Champions League finals, and revived its global brand. He turned Juve into a modern, sleek, commercially viable powerhouse. The stadium, his vision. The worldwide fan base, his plan. He gambled big, and when you gamble at top, sometimes you lose big. So what is Andrea Agnelli? A villain who betrayed football? Or a visionary who flew too close to the sun? The truth, as always, lies somewhere in between. He broke rules? Yes. He burnt bridges? Absolutely. But he also built a dynasty, modernized Juventus, and tried to revolutionize an aging system. So I ask you, before you pass judgment, would you rather have a quiet coward or a flawed leader who at least tried to change the game? Tebas, tu amata el mal del fútbol. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today's defendant, Javier Tebas, the no-nonsense boss of the Liga. A man fans either respect out of fear or fear without respect. Tebas has single-handedly drained the joy of La Liga. Strict financial controls, wage caps, broadcast blackouts, even Madrid and Barca are struggling to breathe. Messi gone, Neymar gone, Cristiano gone. And what does Tebas do? Clamp down harder. He's turned the league into a glorified business seminar and the football into a financial spreadsheet. But ask yourself this, what is the alternative? Look at clubs like Barca before Tebas stepped in. Mortgaging the future. Tebas didn't kill La Liga, he tried to save it from itself. He introduced salary limits, enforced FFP rules for real, and demanded long-term sustainability over short-term glory. It's not popular, it's not romantic, but it's necessary. Critics argue that Tebas only cares about Madrid and Barca. He's fought tooth and nail to protect their global image, and when they tried to leave the Super League, he went to war, not just to protect La Liga, but to protect his own power grip. Smaller clubs get your funding from crumbs, but say anything bad about Tebas, boom, fined. Yet, under his leadership, La Liga became a global product. Matches broadcast in over 180 countries. La Liga offices open worldwide, marketing deals, international games, even clubs like Villarreal and Sevilla getting international exposure. Tebas might be a authoritarian, but he made La Liga more than just 2 teams, and that takes a spine. So who is Tebas? A tyrant squeezing the fun out of football, or a disciplined reformer who told Spain's clubs, grow up or go broke? He's not there to be loved, he's here to keep La Liga alive. No wild spending, no corruption, no bailouts. Yes, he's stubborn, yes, he's controversial, but maybe, just maybe, he's exactly the iron fist Spanish football needed. Javier Tebas, you're not innocent, but in a world of chaos, maybe your greatest crime was order. Herbert Hainer, du denkst nur an Geld und Sponsoren, aber Fußball ist mehr als Business, es ist Herz. Members of the jury, today we look at a man who stepped in Uli Hoeneß's shoes and instead of football boots, wore corporate loafers. Herbert Hainer, the former AIDA CEO turned Bayern president, or as some fans call him, the CFO in club scarf. Bayern fans say Hainer doesn't get it. He's too polished, too businesslike, he doesn't fight for the badge, he fights for the brand. Sponsors first, fans second, soul last. Under his leadership, Bayern has leaned heavily into commercial partnerships, international tours, and corporate events. Many for the FC Bayern's identity is becoming more boardroom than Bundesliga. But let's be honest, without men like Hainer, Bayern will be a mess like Barca. He's kept Bayern rich, respected and powerful without debt. Their financials are pristine, their infrastructure is elite, and they never risk of mortgaging their future for one flashy signing. He brings discipline to the chaos of modern football. That's not boring, that's smart. Where's the ambition? Bayern keeps hiring yes men as managers, they play it safe in the transfer market, and now, after dominating Germany for a decade, they're being overtaken by a better run projects in Europe. Some blame the lack of boldness on Heiner's conservative leadership style. He's not a risk taker, he's a balance sheet whisperer. But Bayern's so-called stagnation? Let's look at the record. Bundesliga titles still coming. Champions League always in sight. Young stars constantly coming through. One of the most respected clubs on the planet, on and off the pitch. He took the torch from Ulai Onas and didn't burn the house down. That's not cowardice, that's domination. So who is Herbert Hainer? An Adidas executive playing dress up as club president? Or the man making sure Bayern doesn't implode chasing trends? He may not scream on the sidelines, he may not slam tables in the boardrooms, but he delivers results. Financial stability, global reputation, and a team always in a fight. Herbert Hainer, you may never be the people's champion, but in a courtroom of football governance, you're guilty of being boring, but not being wrong. So after talking through 4 of the most slandered suits in world football, what have you learned? Daniel Levy, the penny pincher who apparently sleeps on a pile of unused transfer funds? But while Spurs fans cry over missed signings, they forget that without Levy, Tottenham fans might not even have a stadium to cry in. Andrea Agnelli, the man who tried to burn down European football with Super League Molotov, maybe, just maybe, he saw the financial writing on the wall before the rest of us stopped romanticizing Wednesday night group stage matches in Kazakhstan. Then there's Herbert Hainer, a man, somehow, who makes being successful look suspicious, too corporate. Yeah, well, Bayern fans are too busy watching their club win trophies every year to care. And finally, Javier Tebas, the dictator of La Liga, the man who'd fight a Super League but won't fight a one-host title race. Yet somehow, he's kept Spanish football relevant, financially accountable, watched around the world despite losing Messi, Ronaldo and half the budget of a mid-table Premier League side. None of these men are saints, but they're not devils either. Maybe, just maybe, they're doing a dirty job that keeps clubs alive, while the rest of us scream about FIFA ratings and net spin on Twitter. Hate the suit, not the system. Or don't. I'm just here to defend the indefensible. This is unpopular defense, and sometimes the truth is not always popular, but it's always worth defending. David Moyes? The chosen one? Nah, the frozen one. Stuck in time while the spine came undone. Ryan Giggs? 4 games deep, 2 wins, no plot. Winger on the touchline? Tactics, forgot. Louis van Gaal? Came in philosophy, sold dreams with flair, but turned attack into static, square after square. Jose Mourinho? The special one? Nah, the cynical sage. Set-piece merchant with a press room rage. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Rode Bruno and bounce backs. No patterns, no press. Folded in structure, but fried in the mess. Michael Carrick? Kept shape tight, let the boys just play. Left too soon, might have held sway. Ralph Ragnick? Gegenpress guru with no in-game glue. The press was a mess and the squad never knew. Erik ten Hag? Ajax-born brain with Cruyff in his code, but found Prem nights hit harder than the road. Ruud van Nistelrooy? 4 games, 3 wins. Cynical touch. Forward-turned gaffer? Didn't say much. Ruben Amorim? Modern mind with a back 3 twist, but Prem ain't a Liga, they don't coexist. Could be the one, or more false dawns. 10th short of glory, same old songs. 10 man, 1 poison throne, and over a decade of chaos, pressure, and broken promises. But what?